Hey guys, Sandy here, and today I am scrapbooking some Disney parade photos, and for these photos I am going to use my How to Kill a Kit with Style. So, let's see what I can do.
Do you ever have a vision for a layout and once you make it, it really doesn't turn out the way you had in your head? And you are thinking to yourself, well, I could tear this apart and redo it and actually make something amazing. Or I can say, hooray, this layout is finished. I'm going to put it in the pile to be put away and I'm moving on. Well, guys, this layout, I moved on. Now, I took the Happy Day paper and I put 3 of the parade photos across the page here. And as you can see, I was standing in one place, so all of my parade photos are from the same angle, so I didn't have to worry about, what looked good where on the page. I do add 2 little strips at the top of the photo and at the bottom. The one is actually a branding strip. Wonders will never cease. I actually used a branding strip. And then one is just a small cut off of a piece of paper. I have this ampersand and these triangles from this clear sticker sheet. And I went ahead and put those on some white cardstock and I'm just cutting them out. So clear stickers are great if you are putting them over top of some solid cardstock. You're not putting them over multiple layers, like they're great. However, if you want to put them over multiple layers or even like multicolored things, it's a struggle. So I always back those clear stickers on top of cardstock. And you don't always have to have them backed on top of white cardstock. Like I could have put this ampersand on a pattern paper and it would have just had a subtle pattern behind it, but I don't do that. Now that ampersand is big and gold and I had no idea what I was doing with it at the time. I just knew that it was going to go somewhere on these photos. So I grab my Love from Lizzie peel-offs and I'm using them just to do a little outline here on my layout. Now these Love from Lizzie peel-offs are from lovefromlizzie.com. I will have a link down below for them. Just a fair warning, she is in England, you guys, so sometimes shipping is a little bit pricey coming from overseas. I go ahead and run 2 black lines of the peel-offs over top of this entire border strip right here, and I'm good with it. I was thinking about adding more of the peel-offs, but I decided not to. I didn't want to. I feel like I'm getting into a rut a little bit. Like I'm doing lots of bright colors and black and white, and I'm loving that right now, but I want to I want to mix it up a little bit. Not that I really can mix it all up a whole heck of a lot with this kit because the kit is colorful with black and white. Like that's just the way it is. But I didn't want to put black all over the page. So I know that something is going to be and sunshine for this title. I'm not exactly sure what it's going to be yet. I haven't figured that out, obviously, because I'm moving on. As you guys can see, I kind of have that kind of squirrel mentality. If you've never seen Up, then that's what the reference is. So if you've never seen Up, you're probably going to be like, Sandy's gone a little bit crazy today. But I kind of have that mentality when I am scrapbooking. I do bounce around the page. I don't usually just complete one thing. And that's just the way I am. That's just the way my head works, and that's just the way I create, and that's just the process. So I run with it. So I decided to bring in fun and move sunshine to the other side. And then I have these chipboard word phrase things from Freckled Fawn, which are ancient. And as you can see, I've used up a whole bunch of them, but some of them are lingering on. And these are just things I'm trying to use up. And the thing is, guys, is when you use up your stuff, you have more room to bring in more stuff. And I always find it funny when people are like, I'm trying to, get my stash down and, really use up a bunch of things. And I'm like, when I use up things, I'm like, yay, more room to bring in more things. And that really, that's really my philosophy. If I use it up, then hooray, I get to bring in more things. And that makes me excited. I never want to, I mean, I'm probably at the point where I could scrapbook forever and not run out of stuff, but maybe not. Maybe not. I say that, but probably not. I could scrapbook for a good while. A very good while. I do have to say, though, I know I'm getting off the topic, but, you know, I'm not crazy about the page, so we're going to talk about other stuff. I did at one point, so I have a couple IKEA bookcases, and they are the Calyx, and it used to be the Expedit, or is it Expedit now, and it used to be the Calyx? No, it's Calyx now. So I had 8 of those squares filled up with paper at one time. 8 of them, you guys. Like, 8. Now my pattern paper fits in 2, and my cardstock fits in 2. So, or I'm sorry, my pattern paper, yeah, 2. There's 2. 1, 2. 1, 2, and cardstock fits in 2 as well. 6x6 and 6x8 paper pads fit in 1. Like, so I have a lot less paper than I used to. Now this is a frame, and I think probably what's bugging me about this layout. I'm going to create a shaker, and the shaker is huge. And normally I'm okay with big shakers. I'm like, yes, the more bling the merrier. I'm totally cool with it. But I think in this case, the shaker is probably a little bit large, and, you know, I just kind of go with it. I don't really, yeah, I'm feeling that it's a little bit large while I'm doing this, but I still just go ahead and go with it because that was the day I was having. On this day, I was truly struggling with the creativity. I couldn't get a mixed media background. It took me ages and ages to get that finished, and you know, usually I can like slap that stuff down and it's good. But this time it just took me forever. This page wasn't coming together. I even like stopped scrapbooking and just cleaned up and like touched things in my room because, you know, cleaning up was more appealing than scrapbooking, and that's, you know, that's never a good thing. So I stopped. I just stopped. I went out in the other room. I had a glass of wine. I read a little bit, and I just put the scrapbooking out of my mind because my creativity was was not feeling it. Just not feeling it. And, you know, when you make a statement that you're going to put up a video a day for an entire year, like that is a truly terrifying moment because, you know, you want to put out stuff that you like, and you want to put out stuff that hopefully other people like. And yeah, so thankfully, the next day I was feeling like my normal old self and just started creating some layouts. But this one at the time, not that good. So while I was talking and running my mouth, you saw that I had the background paper here, and I went ahead and I adhered some of my sequins to the back of that background paper. And what that does is when the layout has been standing up in the album for a while, normally all the sequins would go down to the bottom of the shaker pocket, but there's always going to be some that are up now, like, so you will always see that. And the sequins that I am using for that, let me grab them. Okay, so the sequins were Vintage Dowry and Tweaky Teal. So I used those sequins, and then I used something from Brutus Monroe, and it's called, what the heck is this stuff called? Shimmer. It's Brutus Monroe Shimmer Flakes, and it's just, you know, pretty little flakes of stuff. And I decided to put some of those in my shaker as well. So now I have these frames, and these are a carryover from one of last month's kits. And I really didn't want to put them in my scrap folders because I honestly don't get a lot of scraps out of my scrap folders. I usually don't. It's just something I've moved on from a little bit, I guess. But I was just trying to figure out where I could put this frame and kind of build this up down here, because the shaker has completely and totally turned this into like this is an element. I could have left it subtler and not put the shaker down there and just did something smaller. I could have put the frame there instead of the shaker, but you know, now this is like a thing on the page. So I'm going to go ahead and figure out how to make this at least kind of match up. Now, my title up at the top has turned into a monstrosity as well. There's just a lot of stuff up there. And then this down here is just huge. Like, it's just a big, huge area. So I grab an epoxy flare and I pop that up on some foam. And I go ahead and place that so that's over top of the shaker box, and also so that it kind of looks like those little banners are hanging down from the epoxy flare. Now I have this black Mickey head, and I just gotta try to figure out where that bad boy is gonna go, where he's gonna get tucked in, and eventually I just figure he's just gonna tuck in right there. Because this is a 2017 Scrapbook album, and while I have very overtly Disney themed layouts, this trip is going to have a mixture of very, you know, the big in your face, this is Disney scrapbooking supplies or Disney-esque scrapbooking supplies. And this one is not, so I felt like I needed to throw that Mickey head in there. I do like throwing Mickey heads on all of my Disney layouts for Disney trips. There have been a couple trips where I didn't do it, and you know, I look back at those albums and I'm like, oh, where's the Mickey head to find? So I'm not going to go back into those albums that I didn't put Mickey heads in. Like, I'm not doing that. But, you know, it's something that I enjoy, and it's something when I go look at those albums I miss, so I'm going to do it going forward. I do add some sparkly enamel dots to the page because, you know, this page isn't busy enough already. We needed to add a little bit more. And then I am going to just add a few little lines of journaling here on the page as well. So here it is, guys. This is my huge shaker box parade fun layout. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks so much for putting up with my rambling. I will see you guys again real soon for another video.